Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej.
And I'm Benoit.
And thanks so much for tuning in. We're back. We haven't been making content in a while, but we've been busy.
Yeah?
And where have we been? We went down to the U.S. Nationals in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, for Origins GameCon.
For Origins GameCon. So we got in a car, drove 11 hours, and played and filmed some really high-stakes Netrunner. This is actually the top 8, so the second day, 56 attendees, all the way down to only 8 players. These are some really strong players.
Yeah.
Right before the game starts, we did have the opportunity to talk to some of these guys.
Yeah, we did interviews with all top 8.
So how about we let them talk about their decks a bit?
Sure, let's see what they have to say.
Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. We are here today on the second day of Origins 2016. We are about to enter the top 8 of the U.S. Nationals. We are joined today by
Josh Wilson.
And you were the first seed yesterday in the Origins 2016.
Right.
Could you tell me a bit about the decks that you are playing today?
I have Nearth Hub and Butcher Shop and Wizard today with employee strikes. The Nearth Hub Butcher Shop is a Scorched Earth kill deck, kind of veiled as a fast advance Nearth Hub deck. And the Wizard is just like a standard Dumble Fork, but with employee strikes to shore up some matchups like Polana and Cerebral Imaging.
So yesterday we played 6 rounds of Netrunner. In terms of the killing in the Butcher Shop, has this been a big surprise? Do you think that's a good matchup against Wizard decks that might not be running things like Plascrete?
Right, it's a great matchup against Wizards without Plascrete, for sure. Anything without Plascrete, it's a pretty good matchup against. Anything where they don't suspect that you're going to try and kill them, it's probably a good matchup against. Some people pitch it, although some people have caught on to the fact that I'm on Butcher Shop already. Either way, it can still score out, so it's not a bad choice. It's been working pretty well.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans at home?
Yeah, band museum.
Perfect. Hey, thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Good luck in top 8. So right before the top 8 at Origins 2016 U.S. Nationals, we are joined by Michael Kuehm. How's it going, Michael?
Great.
So we are about to enter the top 8. You are playing some very interesting decks. You're playing a Kate deck, but it might not be the normal Kate as of a year ago with the prepaids and the multi-axis. Tell me a bit about your Kate.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking a different route. I decided to run a strange card called Apocalypse.
Hey, not too bad at all. And this is 2 Apocalypse, and your plan is to, I think, Aesop's away the cards that are locked face down?
Definitely Aesop's away, but I changed it to up to 3 because I always found that the biggest problem was I wasn't able to Apocalypse somebody.
After an Apocalypse, how would you capitalize with Kate? I take indexing seems pretty good.
So yeah, indexing. So no permanent multi-access because it's a waste of time, but indexing, a lot of money advantage, and depending on the matchup, a lot of corps can't recover from losing 7 ice or so.
That seems really rough. I'm super excited to watch the top 8 and see you tear up some boards. Right before we head out, is there anything you would like to say to the fans at home?
Well, this is my first serious competitive season, and I managed to make it here, so I think anybody can do it. You just gotta keep your nose to the grindstone.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Super excited to see the top 8, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. So this is the second game. On the left, that is Michael, and as he said, he is playing Apocalypse Kate.
Yeah.
There were actually 2 Kates in the top 8. This is the only one with Apocalypse. Michael, this is, as he said, this is his first competitive.
Yeah, very impressive to get there. The competition was really, really rough.
Really strong. And he's going to have the strongest competition, I think, right now. On the right, that is Josh Wilson, playing a kill version of NEH. Mm-hmm. And he was the first seed after day 1.
Yeah, I think he had the bye and then won 2 games, full games, and then ID'd for top place.
I think you just ID through everything now on. It's getting really interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it.
But it's pretty hard to go 4-0 against players with buys. And
I suppose.
So, yeah.
But anyways, so we have Josh Wilson. One thing that we don't know exactly is if Michael has a way to dodge those kills.
Yeah. Will he strike fast or will he stay back before he gets his Plascrete? The problem against Butcher Shop, if they manage to score a fast Astro, because you're setting back, like trying to find your Plascretes or Sports Hopper, you get behind so fast.
Yep. This is also not a glacier type deck. So as Michael said, a lot of corps cannot recover from trashing a lot of ice. Now this deck probably isn't running more than a dozen pieces of ice.
Probably,
and
yeah.
A lot of them are probably pretty flimsy.
For Kate, for sure.
For Kate.
Yeah.
So the accesses might be coming really easily, but getting rid of that ice might not be that big of a deal.
And also dangerous to run early if you don't have the money or
That's true.
a way to defend yourself.
That's true. So super exciting to see what is going to happen here. It looks like we're off, waiting for the judges' call, and let it begin. So I don't know if Josh played against Michael coming up in the Swiss, so he might not know about the apocalypse, and that's actually something that's kind of hard to predict, especially in Kate.
Yeah.
You're usually looking for a turn where they run archives for no reason.
Yeah, and also the popular list was a different Kate, so you might think that this is a normal Kate if you haven't played it or you don't know anyone who played that player before.
The other Kate deck that made it to the top 8 was piloted by Ben Blum and is a very indexing heavy deck. I'm a big fan of that. Looks like we're going to dirty laundry on click 1. You're not sneaking out anything. That's a Sensi Actor Union.
Good catch.
Wow, very good catch. If that card fires, you are in a really bad spot.
Very, very good. Even if it only triggers once, so powerful.
Super good. Yeah. And after that, you know you're going to have to go and trash it because that is 3 cards and 1 on the bottom of the deck. When you're playing a kill deck, you need to find those cards quickly.
Yeah. And also protect the cards that you don't want right now.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to hold on to a bunch of agendas.
GFI, not so good in your HQ.
Not so good right away. And you'll notice there is no ice on that server. This might be a mid-seasons. With 10 credits, it might not be that hard to land a mid-seasons turn 1. We do see an Explodapalooza in Josh's hands there. So you might just want to let those runs come in. Michael, however, is going to play a bit slower. That's a daily cast.
Yeah.
Money's going to come in slow. We can see how fast we can rush here.
Yeah. Can he install the Explodapalooza and see if the runner wants to catch it and then have 15 credit for mid-season? Maybe.
That might
Who knows?
just do it.
Yeah.
Finding the mid-seasons might be a bit tricky, but we'll see. We're going to ice something up in that server.
Good way to have the runner spend money is to ice a remote.
Exactly.
Because if they have to fetch breakers, it's a lot more expensive than just a naked server.
It can be pretty pricey. So we know that's a wraparound. Not sure what's behind that. If that's something like just a breaking news, if Michael does go down to less than 3 cards in hand, you could look for the advanced Scorched Earth.
Sure.
And that can be the game really quickly. So we'll see if Michael is respecting hand size. Again, this not knowing what the decks are is going both ways. I don't know if Michael is aware that this is a kill deck.
I have no idea.
And just seeing Sensi's, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell right away. You might need to get a couple accesses. We're going to throw down a decoder and check that remote. Single piece of ice being rezzed, that is a wraparound. That will keep you out.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come back with a lady, maybe an Inti. And instead, an Armitage is on the table. So that's an interesting card.
Yeah, good card, but we don't see it that often, so I'm curious.
Yeah,
it's
we
nice.
We don't see it that often. Clicking for 2 credits that's magnum opus.
It's
That's
a good
all right.
bang for 1 credit.
Yeah,
like sometimes you get down to 1 credit, and it's one of the most powerful cards that you can play with 1 credit.
That's
for
true.
Credits.
Yeah, make some money.
Seems good.
The reason why Michael is running this is he's running a very heavy Aesop's pawn shop engine, and Armitage code questing does get a bit better if you can Aesop's that away when it's nearly down.
Sure.
Get some money for no clicks. Looks like we're going back to the other side, and that's going to be an ice and advance. You know what? That could easily be a breaking news at this point.
Or the Explodapalooza.
Exploda too. Yeah, Exploda also is
or even any PD contract. I don't know his deck list, but maybe it could be any PD contract.
Yeah, it could be. That is the thing now with that, as much as we don't see that Armitage very often. If, say, Michael checks that remote and it's an Explodapalooza, he can just spend 3 clicks for 6 credits.
Sure.
That's a lot of money.
If he has the breaker for wraparound, for sure.
You do need to find a breaker. SMC is definitely a thing you could find. It's very interesting to see what kind of...
But SMC Lady would mean 6 credit down the drain.
Exactly.
So that card, if it's an Explodapalooza, will set you back, even if you click for 6 credits.
So just putting down that Aesop. So that is going to sell the daily cast. That's good money. Sell the Armitage. That's good money. That seems like a pretty good financial engine. And no score on that agenda. You might be worried that's a trap. We actually don't know that it is an agenda. Jackson's going to hit the table and draw. If that's a breaking news, you do want some kill cards in hand, and that Jackson might help you find it.
Also reshuffle agendas, maybe, if you have too many agendas at that point.
You can get those, I think 2 sweeps week have been played. You can get those back in the deck too. That's not too bad at all. If there is, now the ultimate combo that you want here is a breaking news into a traffic accident followed by a Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
And that's a play that only takes 3 credits, which is absolutely stunning. If you can get behind a piece of ice turn 1 and advance a single breaking news, oh my god, you can end the game so fast.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going to happen here. Remember, we are waiting on the threat of apocalypse. And only one of the central servers is being iced, so that might not actually be that difficult.
He needs more credit than breakers, though. So he's going to get money and draw a lot just to see the cards he needs for his first apocalypse.
Yes.
Start installing and start running, maybe.
So Dirty Laundry is a good way to get accesses while also looking at cards. Jackson Howard, Trash for 3 is not the best with another Jackson on the table.
And also when you need credits to fight off the pressure of Seasource and
Seasource could be a problem. So you might want to leave that. Jackson Howard, though, is the ultimate enemy of Apocalypse.
Yeah, but what is nice is now if he runs the Jackson or the Archive, the Corp is probably going to reshuffle.
Yeah,
that's a good way to reshuffle the Jacksons to make sure the Corp is not drawing it.
At this point in time, you've already ran, so Seasource is kind of on the table. You might want to just run that Jackson just to shuffle the other Jackson back in so you don't see that. But here we get a Sports Hopper, and this is a big deal. Not only this is a link, which might be useful, but more importantly, this is the meat damage protection.
Yeah.
If that is the breaking news into a kill, the runner's going to walk away from that.
Yeah, it's not the perfect protection. Like it's sometimes you don't have time to use it before dying.
That's true.
But it's a good way. Like forcing the runner to use it is not that bad. Like it's not as efficient as Plascrete.
Yeah. So that's the difference with Plascrete is that you don't have to use your Plascrete if you don't want to. Like the first Scorch can land, but after a single Scorch, this has to be used. And you know what? That is a breaking news. That is going to be 2 tags, so the traffic accident is going to come out. I have no doubt the Scorched Earth is in hand. So I think Michael there just might have dodged the death.
Just because of the Sports Hopper.
Last click, install Sports Hopper. I think that's going to save him.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to peel out.
Yeah, for sure.
3 more cards, 2 tags. I don't know if he's Scorched now. There might not be a point, but another install for draw, probably the second Jackson.
Maybe, yeah.
We just barely squeaked out of that.
Yep.
Ooh, this is going to get...
As you can see, Josh still went with it just to force the runner to use the sports.
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to leave that for another round because you might not get all your pieces that you need.
Right. Maker's Eye is going to see 3 cards. That's a resistor. And then some money and another Sansan. It looks like we're not going to trash that. Again, this is the thing with Jackson. You could run on Jackson now to get a shuffle.
Yep.
Follow with another Maker's Eye, or maybe you just don't want them to draw a resistor for some reason. Clone chip on the table. Nothing really to install with that. But if we get a single SMC out, that's a bunch of breakers availability. SMC into clone chip into SMC. Not too bad. Checking the remote. That is Jackson Howard. I guess you might always want to check just in case a Sensi slips out.
Sure.
Because Sensi is
even once is rough.
It's one too many times. And we're going to go back to work at the Armitage and pass the turn right over. So there's a couple vectors in which NBN, this kill deck, can tag you.
Yep.
There's definitely mid-seasons.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dicey right now considering the money levels are pretty even. There's breaking news, which you can fast advance.
Yeah, very good. Or install behind one ice, as we've seen. Advance it once, and then you can just advance and try something.
The last option, which is the one that is maybe the most inevitable at some point, is a 24/7.
Oh, it's so rough. Sometimes you forget about it. You just play, and you're like, super strong. Damn, I forgot that you had a breaking news scored, and you can just sacrifice it.
So now, if there is 24/7 news cycle in this deck, so if Josh can score another agenda, tags can fly at any point in time.
Sure.
Which is really scary because not only can you kill, those tags stick.
Yeah.
They don't go away at the end of the turn, which is absolutely exciting. We're going to put an SMC on the table and run that wraparound. There might be anything behind there, I guess.
Could be an Astro script at that point.
Could easily be an Astro. Could be that Explodo we've seen. Looks like we're going to SMC into an Inti. That is the cheapest option we have here.
For sure.
That's pretty good.
1 credit to break wraparounds.
Not too
0
bad.
to install.
Not
pretty
too bad
good.
at all. So credit for a break. We're going to see what's in there. The money levels aren't that even right now, so we could be worried about a mid-seasons. But the Armitage is there. We can go to work, I guess. That Axis is going to be a Beal. 2 points now on the left side for Michael. If that went through, 24/7 would have been a problem. Let's see if we can hold on for the mid-seasons, though. And it looks like the mid-seasons is going to be respected. We're going to go to work, take some money.
Sure. So it seems like the K deck has pretty low strength breakers. So
Yeah.
against a normal like Blue Sun, Glacier deck, or even Palana with big ice, that could be pretty expensive to land the Apocalypse.
Yeah, it can be.
Yep.
I think I've been playing actually a bunch of Apocalypse decks. I play mostly in Geist, but the idea being that you never let them get to a point where they have a lot of ice.
Yeah.
So that the runs might not be that expensive. You also do have nice answers in Shaper. You can always pull out a Sharpshooter, maybe a David if there's influence in the deck, just to deal with the server, because once it's blown up, the Sharpshooter is one shot, and
Yep.
that's all the shots you need. We're going to put another piece of ice behind that server and clone chip in an SMC. I believe this is before turn starts, just so we can use the Kate ability on the corpse turn.
Yeah, but he uses it on self-modifying code.
Oh, yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, so maybe that won't matter. The reason is we want a Hyperdriver here.
Oh, yeah.
We can use that before a turn. Hyperdriver is the reason why it's really easy to land Apocalypse.
Yep.
In green. You have a 7-click turn. So running 3 servers, you could even play Notoriety, play a lot of really ridiculous stuff at the same time.
Yep.
Super good with indexing as well. I think at this point we don't realize that we did go over MU a bit. That is 5 MU on the table if you use that
Oh,
Sharpshooter.
true. Yeah, you're right.
I'm actually watching on Michael's side of the table. I think I'm going to point in and be...
Does he have 2 links? No.
No, he used his Sports Hopper. That's probably why he's used to his play. But yeah, so there we go. That's the correction. The Zoo is going to hit the bin instead. So you can tell maybe the Apocalypse is coming because he did Aesop's away that Armitage.
Yeah, but that maybe that zoo was necessary for
gonna
some
find
ice.
out.
Ooh, we're gonna see.
So we've seen there's probably a resistor somewhere. That's still 1 credit.
True.
The other kind of ice this deck might run are really low strength stuff like Quandary.
Yeah, Quandary would be good at that point.
Quandary could easily be a problem. That's the resistor we saw. For 1 credit, we get an access, a hedge fund. That's some money coming in. The money differential is getting kind of big.
Yeah, it is.
It's getting really large. We're going to poke HQ. You know, things like pop-up, it could be res tier, which isn't a problem either.
Yeah.
But no res.
Or another wraparound. Or
Yeah, it's probably
like
another
ice is big,
wraparound
yeah.
at this point. And you don't want to spend money if you suspect the Apocalypse. So we have a Scorched Earth in hand, so we can pretty much confirm that Michael squeaked by that kill last a couple turns ago.
For sure.
So 2 runs, nothing conspicuous. If we do check archives, that is going to be popping a Jackson. So we have 2 Jacksons on the table. We can shuffle a lot of cards back in. 3 face downs is going to be the first Jackson. We're going to use the second as well. I think Josh might be savvy of the Apocalypse. He might be at this point. Either that or the archives is entirely loaded with agendas, but it doesn't look like...
I'm pretty sure he suspects the Apocalypse at that point. For sure.
I think he can know this.
Yeah.
He's going to let it 15 minutes go over onto the Michael's score area. Not that big of a deal.
It's okay.
It's
You can
okay.
reshuffle it later on.
Yeah, take that back if you need
Yeah,
it.
it's only 1 point. He's not going to win this turn.
No. So if I'm not mistaken, Michael does have 4 clicks left. Ideally, you want to do something like indexing at this point.
Sure.
Before or after Apocalypse. Indexing is obviously not good when Jackson Howard is on the table. So once those are gone, you do have a bit more freedom with that. Let's see what happens. Did we fire it? I think. There we go.
Sure.
So again, we found a USB stick in the parking lot. We put it into the computer. Horrible things
Everything
happen.
died.
And oh man, don't do that.
Oh
The end of the world.
my god.
So that doesn't actually do that much damage against this deck, which is really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Normally Apocalypse
2
will wipe
ice?
out. Yeah, it was like maybe 2 res dice. No remote servers. So that's a bit unfortunate. That being said, if he can hammer with Maker's Eye and indexing, this is looking pretty good for Kate.
Yeah. And also 2 Jacksons dead.
2 Jacksons dead is a big
Oh,
deal.
it is.
That R&D is flush with agendas.
Yeah. And the money is on the side of the corp right now.
Money's on the side of the corp. Another access into the
So
freshly
no
shuffled.
indexing, and that's turn.
That is another Jackson in hand, a sweepspeak, and 2 kill pieces. We just need to find another agenda and maybe a 24/7, and things could be live again. This is going to be quite interesting. Jackson on the table. We're going to keep drawing. I guess you do need to find ice.
Yep.
You might not actually expect. You might expect things like a count siphon in these kinds of decks.
Yeah, maybe just to keep you down
Yeah.
after the Apocalypse.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
can do it with MU. Maybe a single account siphon, not MU with the influence.
influence, yeah.
Because that gets pretty difficult.
But I think the good move was icing R&D because this is where Kate is stronger. So
Definitely.
Mhm.
HQ access, not the thing Shaper does that well. So the engine that we have here on Michael's side of the table is he has face down cards because of the Apocalypse. The idea is that you play an Aesop's Pawn Shop and then you can sell face down cards. So you get those back into your archives at that point, or into your heap, sorry. And at that point, you can clone chip them.
Yeah.
You can levy later on in the game
Sure.
if things go long. And there you go. That's the ASOPs, and that's an SMC. And we're basically back on track.
Yeah.
We have access to breakers. Another clone chip could do it, but no pressure on HQ at this point. We get a what I believe to be a Sansan into a new
Probably.
server. And a 24/7 is now in hand. Any agenda is a
Can
problem.
Kate afford a clot in the influence of a Apoc?
You know what?
I don't know.
I think definitely.
Yeah?
I don't see why not. You're running SMCs. You're running clone chips.
Yeah.
Apocalypse
Might as well have
is
one.
Three a shot. Clone chips is a bit. Looks like we're going to sell face down cards. Just that last turn, Josh did put back in that 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just shuffle that deck up.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Put it back. You need 3 more agendas now. So, still a lot of work to do. There is probably a protected Sansan in their remote. If we run on that, we're going to hit a piece of ice. We have an SMC to deal with it.
It's going to be expensive.
It's going to be pricey.
Yep.
And
Trashing a Sansan and passing an ice is probably expensive.
it's not, yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Yep.
Next turn, we do have 3 credits coming in from the Ace-Off spawn shop.
Sure.
So that mitigates that a bit. But money will probably matter when it comes to mid-seasons. We're going to run that Jackson Howard.
Yep, last Jackson.
That's the last Jackson. And that's a big deal because now indexings are always going to be good.
Yep.
You can get a perfect indexing every time. This ice is pretty porous, so indexings are not taxing.
Nope.
And man, indexing is such a good card.
It is.
I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think indexing was a big deal in this.
It's very good because you're not accessing cards as well.
Exactly.
So Archangel, you
Not a
don't
problem.
care. Snare, you don't care.
IG, you don't hit
IG,
snares.
you don't-
You-
yeah.
yeah. there's
Shock,
a
snares.
lot of things you can dodge. And that's super good. Even just putting cards that the corp wants
Yeah.
further down.
I don't know what ice Josh is playing, but if on R&D it's an Archangel, it would be very good against Shaper at that point.
Well, I don't know. What would you bounce? You can bounce face down cards. That's a bad thing to do.
Yeah, you can bounce Aesop or even the SMC or the clone
Just one
chip.
credit.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's okay. Clone chip into SMC, so now we have some options. You'll notice there's actually a bit of choice here in what you pawn shop in terms of the face down cards. So he pawn shopped the Inti first. So we could clone chip up for that Inti, but it looks like we're not going to. We're going to do it for the SMC. Probably pull out another breaker.
Yeah.
You got ladies at this point. You do have a bit of interesting choice on what you want to bring out at what point. Like for instance, I don't think you bring out a lady if you expect an apocalypse to happen right away, because an Inti is the cheaper option. But it looks like here we go.
Atman at 0 for a Quandary, maybe?
Yeah, you can do
Oh,
that.
no, it doesn't work because wraparound doesn't get to 0 strength.
Yeah,
until you
that's
have
true.
a-
Yeah, you need a fractor anyways. But that deals with resistor too.
Yeah.
Maybe vanilla in this deck as well. But that is the lady. We're going to get a couple runs through that wraparound if we want now for free. But that's the problem now. That lady was
credit?
expensive.
Ugh.
So that access is going to be 1 credit short of trashing that Sansan.
Yeah.
That is definitely a problem. Clone
And-
chip into SMC into Clot is affordable.
It's doable.
That's 3 credits.
Yeah.
So we can see if that's actually a thing that's happening in this deck.
It's actually 4 credit?
Kate, discount.
No, because you get your discount on SMC.
Oh, totally true. 4 credits.
yeah, 4
totally.
credits.
That's a big deal. That's
that
all
puts
of
you
the
to
money.
0 credit. Yeah.
With ASOPs,
With
you
selling
can
one
recover,
thing?
but yeah, that's
Sure.
a problem. Looks like we do have an agenda in hand. I believe that's an Astro. So this might be a big old. Do you get the
Yeah.
clot?
And I've seen the 24/7 as well.
The 24/7 is in there. There's probably multiple sports hoppers in Michael's deck. So drawing one of those real soon is ideal. Install into a new server. It looks like we're not going to go for the fast advance. I think he might respect the clot play, and I think that's smart. Sweepstake hitting the table. And that's the lovely thing about mid-seasons is that if clot does get called and then the runner checks the remote, they will probably end in a bunch of tags.
Yep.
So it's not the end of the world.
I might I think he installed a second Sansan on the board. I'm not sure, but I might have just installed it in with the other Sansan. Oh, you can because it's a region, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes with shipment from Sansan, you can force someone to use Clot.
Yeah, and
Even when
like
it's
a
not an
cyber deck
agenda,
virus,
like
so
just install something
Yeah.
on top of your Sansan.
CVS is the best because then they run it and it gets all the perks
Yep.
for you. You get that time walk. Looks like we're going to throw a daily cast on that table.
Yeah, he needs to get back in money.
Definitely need money. And this deck does not make the kind of burst money that you're probably used to at prepaid.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the kind of slower money. You do see he has another Apocalypse in hand. And that's a beautiful thing. And maybe you don't actually want to trash the Sansan. It's probably cheaper just to make 3 runs and
Sure.
blow everything up.
Sure.
There's an install there. You're going to get a wait for an action prompt. Do you want to pull something out?
Sure. Oh, of course you wait.
Yeah, single advance, nothing yet. It looks like we're not pulling Clot if that's an
Okay.
option. Double advance,
And then pay 6.
and then a res for 6. That is going to be an Astro. Not only do we have the 24/7 threat, we now have fast advance.
Yeah, that's rough.
Fast advancing a breaking news is almost as good, just as good as 24/7, if not better, if you have a res Sansan.
Sure.
So this is your turn. I think you have 2 options. Do you either hope they don't have kill pieces and maybe blow up the whole board before you can fast advance even further?
Yeah, but there's still this face down ice on R&D.
Yeah,
We have
but,
no idea what it is.
Can't be good.
Can't be good.
Can't be good ice.
Ice is not that good in butcher shop, so
No, it usually isn't. If you
Yeah.
can hold on, you're usually in a good spot. But it looks like Michael
No,
is going to
he's
go
gonna drop.
digging a bit, so we know Apocalypse is going to happen. And I think you really need to find a Sports Hopper.
Mhm.
Can't tutor for that card. You can't pull it back from your heap. And it looks like he does know what's happening. 3 draws means he is digging hard. Does he get it? And that is a hyperdriver. So
next turn.
we'll see if next turn he can pull through, because I think he does have kill pieces in hand.
Mhm.
And there's the Clot.
Oh, maybe it was an HQ. That's
yeah,
why.
you know what? It might have been an HQ. That's a problem.
Yep. In his grip.
24/7 is going to forfeit an Astro script. That's going to be
Ooh.
breaking news. 2 tags
And that's it.
into double kill pieces, and that will close it out.
24/7 is
Super good card.
very good card.
But what a wild ride.
Yeah.
Like, we went through an Apocalypse, kill attempt. All the cards came out of the right order. Really well played, Josh. Valiant effort from Michael. Super interesting to see that Kate play. This admittedly is not the best matchup for Apocalypse Kate.
No, absolutely not.
Not
I
the
think
best.
there's nothing to trash that the corp really needs on the board.
not a
That's
big deal.
why.
Yeah, just go fast. That's all you need.
Exactly.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to have the rest of the top 8 coming right up.
Yeah. Ciao.